Oh, thanks for that, guys. Well, this week's Inside the Pride takes a look into the women's basketball team here on campus and goes in-depth with forward Jamie Bickelhop, who's a junior. Bri Hill has more in this week's edition of Inside the Pride.
Welcome to Inside the Pride. I'm Bri Hill. Winter sports are in full swing, and one team that's shown a lot of promise is the women's basketball team. The Pride recently knocked off five-time conference champion Babson and was led by junior captain Jamie Bickelhop, who ranks in the top 25 nationally in double-doubles. We spoke with Bickelhop and head coach Naomi Graves about this young team's early success.
It's an exciting time in women's basketball right now with the way our young group is working. I mean, they're in the gym during their free time doing extra shots, getting up extra shots. Not only that, there's just a re-energized atmosphere in our practices. These kids are working really hard to get the women's basketball program back on track.
The freshmen that came in this year are very hungry to learn, and they're very eager just to play. And the sophomores as well. We struggled with it a little bit last year, but this year we've tried to instill confidence in them, and I think that's a big thing, just reassurance that they're doing a good job, and if they make a mistake, just to get it back the next play. And that's what me and the other two captains have been doing a lot during practice, during a game, and not to get down on themselves, because that's what we did last year. And we really turned around this year. We're excited to practice every day. We come in ready to play and hungry to win because of last year, and we have a good team and good players, and the young ones that did come in they're ready to play, and that's exactly what we wanted.
Jamie's really met the challenge. I mean, last year she struggled with injuries, on and off the court during the season. This year she was determined, came back in shape, ready to go, and has taken on a new dimensional leadership position in our team. She's been selected as one of the tri-captains, has taken more ownership as far as a unit goes, and every night she's there. I mean, she's working hard at practice, she's working hard in games. The fact that she's getting a double-double is an expectation we've wanted from her from a long time.
I think the team kind of looks at me to score when we are in a drought, when we're not playing as well. So I'm really trying to step up in that sense and be kind of like a rock for the team. So I've been really trying to make that impact on the team, and hopefully they can trust me down low with the ball and to score when they need me to.
The thing about the new MAC conferences, last year we had two teams make it to the NCAA. So with our conference play, you have to show up. It's anybody's game any night. And because Babson has graduated some of their talent and Smith has graduated some of their talent, the field's really wide open this year. And I predict that by mid-season, we're going to be in the contention of being one of those teams that makes it to the tournament. For us, that's exciting because we're young. The bulk of our talent and our team is in the freshman and sophomore class. Leadership comes from the junior class and senior class. So I'm pretty excited about this year's program.
The playing field is very level this year, and it just goes to show that anyone can win the new MAC title. There's no one team that stands out. Everyone's hungry for it, so it's very encouraging and very exciting to go into games knowing, we don't know who's going to win. It's whoever has the most hustle, the most heart, the most commitment, the most grittiness in the game that's going to come out on top.
The celebration of 50 years of women's athletics at Springfield is really personal for me. Most of those first-time players are coaches that came back here and are legacy people. Dottie Zanotti, Diane Potter, Mimi Murray, those folks that have really contributed to the growth of women's sports at Springfield College. This weekend is a special time for us to celebrate those women who kind of through adversity fought their way to make women be able to participate at Springfield College. So I'm really excited. And more importantly, my athletes are really excited. To give them a history of where we've been and where we need to go is to me the legacy that myself and people like the former athletes have, and I think it's really important for our women to meet these women as first-year's teams.
Me and another player actually went to a Hall of Fame dinner and got to sit down with a couple of the first players that played 50 years ago in all different sports, including basketball, and just the way that the sport has changed and the atmosphere has changed is unbelievable, and to have the privilege that we do now is awesome, and we take it for granted but it's really nice to be grounded with people like that are going to come support us during the game, and after the game get to talk to them and just see how they think it is now, and hopefully we make them proud.
The women will host Emerson College on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Members of the first women's basketball team will be in attendance as we host our 4th event celebrating the 50-year anniversary of women's varsity athletics at Springfield College. Be sure to come out and show your support. I'm Bri Hill. Roll Pride.
Thanks, Bri. Well, it has been a crazy 2-week in sports, which was started off with the Patriots' stunning comeback over Denver and continued with an upset-filled Saturday in college football this past weekend. To recap all that and more, here is Jack Hamilton sitting in for this week's Sports Report.
Thanks, Alex. The Springfield College women's basketball team beat WPI 53-42 for their second straight win of the season. Heather Lewis led the Pride with a season high of 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Jamie Bickelhump wasn't far behind with 12 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. The women now have a record of 3-3 this season. The Pride will host Emerson on Saturday at 1 o'clock, and will be celebrating the anniversary of 50 years of women's varsity athletics here at Springfield College. The men's basketball team barely held on to win last night against Trinity. The game went into overtime, and the Pride came out with a win 81-77. Alex Garza had a career-high 22 points to help the Pride get the win. Nick Sankowitz added 16 points, and Sean Martin had 13 points, 7 assists, and 4 steals. The Pride was 14 for 21 at the line and moves to 5-1 in the season, and will travel to take on nationally ranked Williams on Saturday. The MLB has been making headlines with the trade of Jacoby Ellsbury, a free agent outfielder formerly for the Red Sox and now the New York Yankees, for a 7-year, $153 million contract, according to ESPN. This news has left many Red Sox fans in an uproar after the World Series win this past fall. Tom Werner told ESPNBoston.com that, quote, "Jacoby was a great player while he was with us. He helped us win 2 World Series, and he was a pleasure to watch offensively and defensively. I wish him the best." But we here at SCTV3 also wish both Jacoby and the Red Sox the best this season. In other controversial news, Pittsburgh Steelers coach Mike Tomlin was fined $100,000 for his sideline interference in the Thanksgiving football game against the Baltimore Ravens. He was accused of intentionally interfering with Jacoby Jones while he was returning a kick. Although he denied that there was no intent that he wanted to interfere with the game, he issued an apology to Jacoby Jones and the rest of the NFL the next day after the game. The league is also considering stripping the Steelers' draft choices, according to ESPN. To avoid another situation like this again, the NFL is now looking to reestablish a clear boundary between the sideline and the field in which the coaches are allowed to stand. Speaking of Thanksgiving football, Turkey Day was filled with exciting and emotional games. Our very own Brendan McLean has more on this coverage of the past Thursday's NFL events.
NFL football on Thanksgiving is one of the best combinations we have going. This year, we had 3 good and important football games. In the first game, we saw the Detroit Lions smoke the Green Bay Packers 40-10. For the Lions, running back Reggie Bush was the breakout player of the game. Bush ran for 117 yards and a touchdown, while catching for another 65. Calvin Johnson had a touchdown. Stop me if you heard that before. For the Packers to have any chance down the stretch, they need Aaron Rodgers to get healthy. In the second game, we saw America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, beat the Oakland Raiders 31-24 in a high-scoring affair. For the Cowboys, Tony Romo looked sharp again, but the breakout player for them was DeMarco Murray. The elusive running back out of Oklahoma managed to find his way into the end zone 3 times. With the win, the Cowboys moved back atop the NFC East. The Raiders have been the laughingstock of the league for a while now, and it finally seems like they are taking steps to become a better football team. Terrell Pryor didn't play in this game, but it looks like he actually has some potential to be a good quarterback down the road. In the final game, we saw the Baltimore Ravens scratch out a win against their division rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers quarterback Big Ben Roethlisberger almost led the team to a fourth-quarter comeback, but the Ravens' defense held strong. For Baltimore, Justin Tucker drilled 5 field goals, and he is quickly becoming one of the elite kickers in the NFL. The story coming out of this game, however, is Steelers coach Mike Tomlin being fined $100,000. Coach Tomlin interfered with the Ravens' return man Jacoby Jones on a play that looked like a possible Raven touchdown. Tomlin was close to the field of play, forcing Jones to cut back and eventually be tackled. The Ravens won the game, but had the Steelers won, this could have been a much bigger story. We saw some great games on Thanksgiving, and I am already excited for next year. For SCTV3, I am Brendan McLean.
Thanks, Brendan. Well, that's all I have for sports for you this week. I'm Jack Hamilton. I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Thanks, Jack. Well, we want to thank everybody behind the scenes tonight. Everybody else was on camera, including Candace Tibbetts, who sat in tonight and co-anchored. I'm Alex Thomas. We'll see you next Thursday night for the final edition of SCTV3 for the first semester. Thanks, everybody.